Did I get the villain edit? Am I getting the villain edit? Was that a villain move? Am I the villain? You are the villain. This is Am I getting the villain edit for accidentally sending a screenshot of my friend's text? He demanded I go get him a Sesame bagel. I asked the server if we could do separate checks, and she looked at me like I ruined the vibe. Who are your guys' friends? This is insane. 2 weeks ago, I took one of her $20 bills. Last weekend, I took another 20. And then 3 nights ago, I grabbed a 50. No, you're stealing. What are you talking about? Stop asking people what your body count is. You're never gonna like the number. My boyfriend now says he's fine with me having friends again. You need to break up with your boyfriend. Dirty shoes in the house. For what? Outside clothes in the bed. But why? People who say, we'll just pick a restaurant when we get there. People say that? When they get where? You guys, I'm concerned about these people. This episode of Khloé in Wonderland, I really wanted to play a game. You know the game that is Am I the where people submit stories and we're sort of asking for opinions. Am I the or not? I wanted to make it a little different. So I'm doing a Khloé in Wonderland version. Did I get the villain edit? I'm going to decipher if you are the villain or not. And I also want you guys to leave comments on my YouTube. Leave comments to see, like, tell me what you think. Am I wrong for what my answer is? What do you guys feel about these stories? I really don't love the excuse when people see an edit of themselves on TV and they say, oh, I was edited that way. I do believe in the power of editing. I do think editing can make you look bad or good, but it can't change your personality. I've seen footage of myself that I maybe haven't been proud of, but instead of me blaming editing, I've been like, okay, let me self-reflect. I don't love that version of me. I don't love how I spoke to someone. I don't like how I responded. I have crazy facial expressions. I don't like some of those because they're rude sometimes. I do want to let you guys know I have not seen any of these cards. This will be, as I'm reading them, will be the first time I'm hearing it. So I'm going to answer in real time, and I want you guys to chime in on the comments because I love reading the comments. So just know I will be reading them. Okay, let's get into this. Am I the villain for accidentally sending a screenshot of my friend's text back into the group chat it was about? I was venting to my sister about how my friend always flakes last minute and sent the screenshot to prove my point. Except I sent it right back into the group chat with that friend. I tried to play it off like, oh my God, wrong chat, but the damage was done. Now it's awkward and she's being cold. What did I do? Okay, well, you're not a villain. This is relatable. This happens to everyone at least once in your life, where you either send a screenshot is a little brutal because there's no way to get out of that one. But I've definitely talked about someone and sent it to that person, but I can easily get out of that because there's no screenshot.
What are your thoughts on being able to delete text messages now with like the new iPhone?
Oof. The unsending, I think, is great. I do. I think you have a time frame, though. I think it's like 10 minutes or something. I don't know the exact time. But I do think you have a time frame for when you could use that feature. But I think an unsend is great. But just, you're going to have to answer, what did you send? Because whenever someone does an unsend to me, I always am like, ooh, burn, unsend. Just to let them know that I know. The editing part me up. So if you send a message and you're like, I hate you, whatever you want to say, then you're like, that was aggressive. Let me change this to like, I'm mad at you. You can read what it originally said, which takes away the point of the editing feature. I don't like that feature. And I have some friends that still don't know that I can see what they originally said, which just makes it great because I can see what they said about me. I do use the editing, but it's normally to correct if I spelled something wrong, this or that. I wish the editing feature didn't show you what someone edited, because then you could be a little shadier. I'm pulling back from a friend who is always emotionally dumping, but never asks how I'm doing. I cannot stand when people do this. Oh my gosh. Every call turns into a 45-minute crisis session, and I leave feeling so drained. I started taking longer to respond, and now she's saying I'm acting different. I feel bad, but also I feel so much lighter. Does this make me a bad friend? No, I don't think this at all. Number one, the older you get, the more you realize you want relationships that are just easy. You don't want a relationship that's high maintenance. This seems like a very high maintenance relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not there for our friends. Of course, if someone is emotionally dumping on you, they may need that release and they may need that friendship and that outlet. If it's constant, then that person needs a therapist. Then that person is just taking advantage and they sort of like to be in that victim mentality, which I can't stand. We all have bad days. We all have bad experiences and go through bad things. Totally fair. I want my girlfriends around me. I want to be there for my girlfriends. But when it's a constant emotional trauma dumping, that gets old. And also, if they're not asking how you're doing back, it sounds like a one-way friendship. And it sounds like that person isn't being a good friend to you. You need to hear me out. I'm in college and my roommate keeps using my stuff and not replacing it. Toilet paper, perfume, skincare, bananas. I didn't want to make it a whole confrontation, so I left a note that said, if you finish something, please replace it with a heart. Now she's acting weird. How would you handle this? I am just not this sensitive as a person. Like, common courtesy. If I use something and I used it all, like one of my biggest pet peeves, someone uses all the toilet paper and you see a fresh roll right there. Are you kidding me that you're not going to replace it? The laziness. It's rude. I do not like it. This is triggering me a little bit clearly, but I think, listen, if you don't say something, someone's never going to know your boundaries or know what ticks you off. You have to say something. I think you leaving a note with a little heart kept it cute. I think you're being really nice. And the least someone can do is replace it. I think that's fair. Am I crazy? Because, like, that's fair. So I, 25-year-old female, have been dating this guy, 28-year-old male, for about 2 months, but we've known each other for about 6. We haven't been intimate yet because we both said we want to take things slow. Last night, we were on the phone just casually talking when he randomly asked me what my body count was. Mine is 9, which I know isn't perfect, but also doesn't feel that high to me. Then he told me his is like 56. Like 56. I love this person. So thorough. I was honestly speechless and immediately felt kind of shocked and a little grossed out. He noticed my reaction and said he's 28 and that I should have expected it. But that number just really threw me off. Now I can't stop thinking about it and I feel weird about the whole thing. I know I shouldn't judge someone for their past, but it's honestly making me second guess things. Okay, number 1, and this goes out to everyone who's watching. Stop asking people what your body count is. You're never going to like the number. If someone said 1, you wouldn't like the number. You'd be like, okay, that's weird. Why so low? If someone says 100, of course you're not going to like that number. Who the cares? What does this mean? What does this matter to you? Who cares? We have to let go of that. My opinion. Number 2, there are double standards in life. Like, we just gotta understand that men, their number should be higher than women's. Like, I don't know. I just think all men have a lot of sex. And I actually respect that he was so honest. I would never have expected. First of all, who the is counting to 56, by the way? Does he have like a journal? So that's a little weird that he knows exactly. 56 is a weird number to remember. This stuff wouldn't bother me, but I also don't ask those questions because I don't really want to know. What I want to know is if I'm at a dinner party and you slept with someone here, like, I just want to know who's in my space. I want to know that information, but I don't need to know who you've slept with your entire life. But don't ask questions if you don't want to know the answer. Respect the honesty. Let's talk about friends in their 30s. All of my friends have kids. I'm the only one who doesn't. I had a birthday dinner and told my friends they were not allowed to talk about their kids for one night. I just wanted to vibe with everyone like how things used to be. I have a super stressful job. This was my one night to let loose, wear a cute outfit and have a cocktail, and not be reminded about the different life path that I'm on. Does that make me selfish? No, I don't think that makes you selfish. I don't. Number one, I get that perspective. Like, at first when I was reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're You're like giving people guidelines at your dinner about not talking about their kids. But then I understand maybe it makes you feel bad because it says you have a really stressful job. You're in your 30s. You want to let loose. And I can tell by your message that you're feeling maybe down on yourself for not having kids yet. I totally think you're going to have kids and if you want them. And I think we're all on different life paths, but I get it. I have a few friends that don't have any kids, and I try to be aware of what I say around them. I mean, things happen and I talk about my children a lot, but I get that and the sensitivity to it. And I think you're okay to say that. And if anyone gets annoyed with you, I love the vulnerability in you saying that you just don't want to focus on the different life paths that you guys are on right now. And I think that's a really powerful thing to say. I, a 20-year-old female, had been with my boyfriend, a 22-year-old male, for about a year and a half. We live in the same city, and I'm basically at his apartment every night. So I really thought we were solid. Last night, we were driving, and suddenly a message popped up on the screen from a girl's name I didn't recognize. And it said, "Are you coming over later? I miss you." I froze. I didn't even yell. I just asked who it was. He immediately unplugged his phone, and then he said I misread it and that it was actually his sister texting about dinner. He refused to show me the phone and that I was invading his privacy by looking at his screen while he was driving. This is giving me so much PTSD. When they gaslight you and make off. Okay, going back to the story. Then he started saying I was being delusional and that my anxiety was ruining a good relationship. Of course it was, sir. I asked him to pull over at the gas station and got out and called an Uber because the whole thing was making me feel like I was really going crazy. Now he's blowing up my phone saying I'm immature for jumping out of the car and that I'm too unstable to be in this relationship. If I'm going to freak out over a random notification, he's cheating, right? Yes, he's cheating. We can go down this rabbit hole and continue talking about it, but the moral is he's cheating. Get out now. It's a big red flag. Listen, if it was his sister, he would have showed you the phone. You know what you saw. You didn't misread it. I've been there. We all want to gloss over something because we don't want to start new again. And we have this fantasy of I'm going to get married. This is the dress. This is my husband. And then to know you're not, it's sad and it's scary. Take it from me. He's cheating on you. Move on so you can have that fantasy with someone else and hopefully make that a reality. And of course, he's saying you're immature and you're unstable because he's trying to make himself feel better and he's trying to make it that he's not the villain. Guess what? He is the villain. You're not. Don't let him manipulate and gaslight you. My roommate is a server at a high-end restaurant in Malibu. She often comes home with cash tips. She's also super forgetful and aloof, so sometimes she comes home and just leaves her cash laying around in random spots. I don't think she's actually paying attention to how much she's bringing home. 2 weeks ago, I took one of her $20 bills and I didn't think she ever would notice. So last weekend, I took another 20. And then 3 nights ago, I grabbed a 50. Last night, we went out and I paid for our tabs, $78, and she seemed so grateful. But she doesn't know she technically paid for our drinks herself. Am I the villain if I did a nice thing but actually didn't do it? What the are you talking about? It still made her feel good and she won't know the difference. No, you're stealing. What are you talking about? That is still her money. You're saying she's super forgetful and aloof. No, that's called trust. She feels safe around you and she trusts you. So she's leaving her money out and you're just taking a 20 and a 50 and then paying for drinks, but you're justifying it saying that she did, but you're not telling her? No, this is so wrong. You are the villain. This is what's your name and address? This is crazy. You're the villain. Your roommate is so nice, so trusting, and she's going to lose all trust in you now. Oof. No, naughty girl. There's nothing better than having a plan that gives you real choices without asking you to give up the things you love. With Weight Watchers, you don't have to sacrifice to see results. You get flexibility, support, tools, and even medication that helps you make choices that are actually sustainable. Because wellness looks different for everyone. And lasting change starts with a plan that fits your real life. Some days you're motivated. Some days you're tired. And some days you want the salad. Some days you want the pasta. And that's real life. That's why so many of my friends love Weight Watchers. It's not about being perfect. It's about support, flexibility, and building habits that actually fit into real life. You learn what works for you, how you want to eat, how you want to move, and how you want to create something sustainable and long-term. So since Weight Watchers is all about choice and flexibility, I thought we'd play a little game. It's called Quick Picks in partnership with Weight Watchers. Okay, let's do it. Simplicity or variety? I'm a creature of habit. I can do the same thing every single day, but then I do like to switch it up. So I don't know. I like both. I do. I think that's something that I do love about Weight Watchers is that they do have that flexibility in their meal plans, and they do have either the ways of being super regimented, being a creature of habit, or they have the flexibility to go in any which way you want for that week. So I do love that Weight Watchers puts focus on support, and I feel like everything's just set up for success. Homebody mode or social mode? Okay, homebody all the way. I definitely can have my social moments, but that's like every blue moon because once I'm out, I'm out. But homebody, I love my bed, I love my TV, love my comfy clothes, all of that. Workout buddy or flying solo? Okay, so this one is hard because it does depend on my mood. Some days, like if I really want to go hard and I have a goal in mind, I love a solo session because I like really lock in and I know what I'm doing. But I also do love a group workout because it does make the workout go by quicker. And sometimes I just need a little distraction. But with that being said, I really do love that Weight Watchers does encourage movement. They encourage all the classes, all those good things. And I love that they have their classes on demand and it keeps you going. So a little bit of everything, guys. Starting over or picking back up where you left off. I do believe in lifestyle changes. I believe in making tweaks in your life that is sustainable, and things like if you want to cut out soda, like the little things you cut out. But if you one day want to have a soda, I don't think that ruins all the progress you've made. I think life is all about balance and enjoy your life, anything in moderation, keep going and be happy. You can't focus that much on perfection. It's unenjoyable. Needing control or embracing flexibility. I love control, like love. I am not good at releasing control. And it's more, not even control. I just like structure. I like to know what I'm getting myself into. I like predictability in my day. I do like freedom too. So I guess that is a little bit of both, but I just need life to be real. And sometimes you have to adapt to that. And yeah, there is, I don't know, control is hard because it then really throws you off your game if you don't have it for that day. Podcast on or music on? I love a podcast, but I'm music hands down all day, every day. Weight Watchers has supported tens of millions of members, and they are here to support you and help you achieve your goals in 2026. Use code Khloe for an extra 20% off your first month of membership. That's an extra 20% off your first month at WeightWatchers.com with code Khloe. Offer applies to select plans, restrictions apply. Offer ends May 31st, 2026. I'm 28 years old and I'm 8 weeks pregnant with my first child after 3 years of infertility and multiple miscarriages. Well, congratulations. We haven't told anyone yet because we're being cautious. 2 weeks ago, my best friend got married. At the reception, people kept offering me drinks all night. I kept politely declining, but they wouldn't let it go and started joking that I was no fun and being overly sensitive for not drinking. Eventually, I snapped and said something like, maybe there's a reason I'm not drinking. Now a few people think I made things awkward and stole the attention from the wedding. Okay, everyone. What I can't stand from people is like the shaming that we do when people don't want to drink. Like, not drinking is also cool. Drinking is also fun, whatever you want to do, but like let people be them. When people shame others for not drinking, because I used to be a big drinker, now I don't anymore, but I'm still so fun. I don't need alcohol to be fun. I think everyone just needs to let people be them. And if they want to drink, cool. If you don't, you don't. Also saying maybe there's a reason I'm not drinking. That's like, girl, there's so many other ways. You hold a glass of champagne. You don't even really have to drink it. A drunk person is drunk. So you can trick them really easily. You just keep holding the same glass. You fill something up with water, pretend it's a vodka on the rocks, whatever you have to do. I don't think you stole the attention from anyone deliberately. I obviously think you're probably hormonal and sensitive and felt picked on. So it wasn't an intentional thing. But there are many ways around that, many ways to trick people. It happens all the time. I'm a 26-year-old female and I was at a brunch with my friends. One of them ordered a ton of food, like multiple cocktails, appetizers, dessert, everything. When the bill came, she said we should just split it evenly because it's easier. The rest of us only had one drink and a meal. I asked the server if we could do separate checks and she looked at me like I ruined the vibe. Now my friend is saying I made things awkward, but sorry, it was not even. Did I get the villain edit? Isn't it funny that people always make you feel bad when it doesn't benefit them? Like, no, this is so rude and entitled of your friend. You can definitely have separate checks. It sounds very unfair the way she was doing it. And maybe she was so freely ordering everything because she thought half you guys were going to cover the costs of her buffet. Like, that's not cool. You're not in the wrong. You did the right thing. I think totally separate checks. And that's just rude of your friend. I have a friend who's always late, like minimum 30 minutes late every time we meet. For my birthday dinner, I told her the reservation was 6:30, even though it was actually 7. She showed up at 7:15 and realized what I did. Now she says I manipulated her and treated her like a child. Who are your guys' friends? This is insane. Number one, I do this all the time. I know my late friends. I always lie to them and I tell them a different time. No one cares. Like they know when they catch on to you is when it's annoying because then they know I'm like giving them a buffer and then they still come late. You should be annoyed that she was then 45 minutes late. She thought dinner was at 6:30. She came at 7:15. That's rude and it shows that she doesn't have respect for your time. Timing matters. Respect my time. Show up on time or don't come at all. Someone being 45 minutes late to a dinner, especially a birthday dinner, is up. So no, you're not wrong. She's a crazy person to say you manipulated her and that you treat her like a child. You are a child. If you're showing up to a birthday dinner 45 minutes late, you have no respect that it's my birthday. It's not about you. Grow up and get it together and be on time. It's someone's birthday. I like to bring home hard to get or expensive bottles of booze as souvenirs when I travel. Stuff you literally cannot purchase where we live. A simple example is rum that is only available for purchase from the distillery in Jamaica. I can only get more if I go to Jamaica and get it. My wife's brother and sister-in-law were over last weekend and they were having a few drinks. Rum and cokes mostly. I had a bottle of rum out so people could make their own. My brother-in-law decided it wasn't good enough and he wanted the rum from my liquor cabinet. He asked me for the key and I said no. And I said if he wanted to try any, I would pour him an ounce to sip and enjoy, but it wasn't for mixed drinks. He got all pissy and called me a snob. I offered to sell him the bottle for what it would cost me to replace it if he really wanted it. My wife says I should have just let him have some. So yeah, I think you're being a little cheap. Because if you're buying these things, yes, they're yours. And well, there's two sides. So one, I think it is sort of rude that your brother-in-law didn't think that rum was good enough. Then like bring your own if that's the case. But it's also your brother-in-law. It shows how close you guys are. It shows that he can talk to you like that. My sibling would talk to me like that. And then you also buy this alcohol so you can enjoy it. You buy it to be used and not just to sit there. Do I get that you would have to go to Jamaica to get more? Yes, but maybe that's something you put on your bucket list to do one day. I don't know, because why else are you having it? I think your wife is right. She's trying to say, like, just let him have some rum. You have it there. So I do think that's ridiculous, but I also think it wasn't like the best that your brother-in-law thought the other rum wasn't good enough. But then I also look at that like, well, you guys are close. You're sort of the villain in that one. I'm a 28-year-old female. I went on a first date with the guy that spent the entire dinner explaining cryptocurrency to me, even though I repeatedly said I didn't understand it. At the end, he said I should split the bill because he gave me valuable financial knowledge. Ugh. I paid my half, but told him that logic was insane. Khloé, what do you think? Run. What a crazy person. Number one, who gets crypto? Nobody. Like, are we okay? And number two, maybe because you said you didn't understand it, he kept going. You should have just said, I don't want to talk about this. Like, we're on a date. This is crazy. And a first date, please. Sounds like there was no chemistry, no sparks. Run. I'm a 35-year-old male, went on vacation with friends, and one guy kept waking up early to claim the best pool chairs with towels. But he wouldn't actually come back for like 3 hours. One morning, I moved his towel and sat there. He said I violated pool chair etiquette. I actually don't regret it, but was that a villain move? Okay, if it's a random person, you can't just do that. You can't wake up early, claim chairs, let them sit there for 5 hours, and then use them no. That's actually him violating pool chair etiquette. You have to be like, I feel like you can claim a chair, and you probably have like a 30-minute window to claim it and go there. Wouldn't you guys think? 30 minutes? I think that's fair. You can't claim a chair and then use it at 2 in the afternoon and I claimed it at 6 a.m. That. No. And I'm happy you don't regret it. You shouldn't. My son had a sleepover with 3 friends. The next morning, I didn't want to cook for 6 people, so I picked up a big bagel catering box with 13 bagels and spreads. When the kids were waking up, my daughter came downstairs first and grabbed the sesame bagel. When the boys came down, one of my son's friends immediately asked why there weren't any sesame bagels left. I explained there was only one and my daughter grabbed it first. He kept insisting it wasn't fair and that since he was a guest, he should get it. At this point, my daughter was already eating it. I told him there were plenty of other bagels and just to pick one. He refused and demanded I go get him a sesame bagel. Okay, whose kid is this? They have no manners. After going back and forth for a while, I told him to stop acting like a brat and either eat a bagel or go to school without breakfast. Later, his mom called saying I shouldn't have called her son a brat or let him go to school hungry. For the record, there were still 4 bagels left after breakfast. I don't do sleepovers on school nights. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, who the is this kid? The mom should be mortified that her kid thinks they're entitled to the one sesame bagel. No. And you didn't let him go to school hungry. You gave him options. That was his choice. If my kids don't want to eat, this isn't a restaurant. I'm not making meal after meal. You either eat the food that's there. If not, be hungry. You have the option. And I know you like that food. You're just trying to be particular right now. This kid would eat something more than a sesame bagel. He was just being a jerk or a brat. I don't know if I would have called him a brat just because I don't talk like that, but I would have said, like, these are your options. You either will go to school hungry or you can eat any of this stuff. And I think it is crazy that he thinks he can talk to you like that. That's crazy. I'm a 29-year-old female who got married less than 3 months ago after being with my husband for almost 7 years. One thing I've always been clear about is that I need my space and that decisions about people staying in our home should be made together. Recently, I found out that his sister, her husband, their child, and my in-laws booked tickets to come stay with us for 5 to 6 weeks. I only found out after everything was already booked. We live in a very hot climate, which means 7 people total in the house during peak summer. My husband will be at work most of the day, so I would be the one home with everyone. There are also lifestyle differences. My in-laws are strict vegetarians and won't allow eggs or non-veg in the house, which is a big adjustment since that's a staple in my diet. I would happily host them for a week or 2, but 5 to 6 weeks without being asked first feels overwhelming. What? This is mental. Like, don't want to say the D word, but like, are we okay? I would, ooh, oh my God. Okay. That is up of your husband. Like, I don't care how much you love his sister, her husband, their kid, your in-laws, anyone 5 or 6 weeks is abuse. Anyone that wants to do that is actually mentally unstable. Like, go home. Why are you here? That's crazy. And then your in-laws can have all the dietary restrictions they want. To go into someone else's home and say eggs aren't allowed on this property, go rent an Airbnb, go get a hotel, stay at someone else's house that abides by your rules. You can't go into someone else's home and tell them what they can and can't have in the fridge. That is like, where are we? Are you questioning if you're the villain? I'm concerned about you. And how nice are you? I would happily host them for a week or two. You would? That's so nice. But this is crazy. Crazy. Okay. You guys, I'm concerned about these people. Spring always feels like a little reminder to check in with yourself and ask, what actually feels like me right now? Not what's trending, just what feels good for you in this season of your life. And honestly, I think self-expression shows up in the smallest places. How you start your morning, how you take a break, how you treat yourself in the middle of a busy day. And for me, that little moment of self-expression is my Starbucks order. It's such a simple thing, but I love that I can walk in and make my drink feel like mine every single time. If you know me, you know I am obsessed with an extra hot venti chai latte, whole milk, 7 pumps chai, 7 pumps classic, no water. It's cozy, it's bold, it's exactly what I want. But honestly, what I love about Starbucks right now is that they refreshed their chai, so you can actually customize the sweetness level. And you guys know I love options. I am loyal to my go-to order, like truly loyal. But now I can switch things up depending on my mood. Some days I'm sticking with my classic. Other days I'm like, okay, I want to be a little spicy, a little less sweet. Maybe add a seasonal twist. I love that my drink can basically match my energy of that day. And that's what I love about Starbucks, that there's no right way to order your chai, especially now that you can customize the sweetness of your chai, change the milk, add the cold foam. You get to build your drink around your mood, your routine, your vibe of that day. Some days I want comfort, and some days I want to switch it up. And some days I just want that something that feels familiar. That's the kind of energy I'm trying to bring into spring, choosing myself in little ways, even in something as small as customizing my coffee order. It's not about perfection. It's about letting your everyday routines reflect who you are right now. Customize your chai your way at Starbucks. Order now on the app. Me and my boyfriend, I'm 34, he's 35, have been together for 8 years. Still no ring, but that's a whole other conversation. We have 2 kids together, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. We both work, and I recently started working from home because of our toddler. My boyfriend is very religious and grew up Christian. I grew up atheist, and I'm still not religious. When we first got together, we knew we had different beliefs, but it wasn't a huge issue. Once we had kids, he wanted them to go to church regularly. I agreed that he could take them and introduce them to his faith. I don't stop him, and I don't speak negatively about it. Here's the issue. Sundays are the only time I get alone. Since I work from home and take care of our 2-year-old most of the week, I'm constantly on. When he takes both kids to church on Sunday mornings, it's the only time I get to meal prep for the week, pack my oldest school lunch, and do laundry in peace, and sometimes take a nap. It's literally the only quiet, uninterrupted time I have. My boyfriend says that by not going, I'm not supporting his beliefs, and that we should be going as a family. I feel like I am supporting him by not interfering and letting him raise the kids with his faith. I just don't personally believe in it, and I also desperately need that time to reset so I don't burn out. So listen, I'm not here to convince you to go towards any faith. I actually think how you're handling this is really fair. I think if you're solid in being an atheist, then that's on you. And I really respect that you're not putting that on your kids. And I think it's beautiful that you're letting your boyfriend take the kids. And I agree with you. I think you are supporting him by allowing that to happen. And I also think that I don't go to church all the time. I go every now and again, but I have church at home. Like I do it on my own. Not saying that you want everyone at your house because I get you need your Sunday. I love a Sunday. I get it, girl. But I do agree. I think we all need to reset. We all need those days. And I think it's a beautiful thing that you let your kids go. And I think that is perfect. And one day, maybe when your kids are older, because they're still so young, I'm assuming they're going to ask you to go one day. I think you're doing a good job. So don't stop. I'm 18 years old and I've been with my boyfriend who's 19 for a little over 2 years. When we started dating, he was uncomfortable with me having male friends, so I slowly cut them off. But he also didn't like my female friends and called them hoes. So over time, I ended up drifting away from pretty much all of my friends. I haven't really hung out with anyone in about a year. And lately, I've been feeling like I'm missing out on their lives, especially one friend I've known since daycare who used to be one of my closest friends. My boyfriend now says he's fine with me having friends again. Okay. But after everything he's said in the past, I'm not sure I believe it. I just really miss my friends and the life that I had with them. So you are 18. You're 18 and he's 19. I know you don't want to hear this, but you guys are young and you need to break up with your boyfriend. I mean, he's controlling and he doesn't trust you because first of all, my best friend could be a prostitute. Doesn't mean I'm a prostitute. It just means that's my best friend and we vibe together. I think we've all done this in different ways. When you're younger, you do sort of alienate or cut off some of your friends because you want to immerse yourself in that new relationship. And then the older you get, you realize how much you need relationships outside of the partnership that you have in life. They're healthy. You need to have your own life. You also want the mystery. Like it's okay for your boyfriend not to know everything you did today. And then at the end of the day, you get to talk at dinner. Like, what did you do today? And you get to explain your day. Those moments are great. But if you're doing everything with your boyfriend, that's going to probably run its course. Like you need to have something that's for yourself and you need to have friend groups so you can vent, gossip, laugh, cry, all of those things. So it is really concerning and sounds a little possessive and possibly controlling. Even saying my boyfriend now says he's fine with me having friends again. What? I'm not asking you for permission. Like, that's crazy. Did I get the villain edit? My mom is 60 years old, and she recently left my stepdad, who's 54, after discovering he'd been cheating on her while traveling for work. During that time, my sister, who's 30, was supporting her. And one of my sister's friends, 35-year-old male from overseas, started messaging my mom. What started as comforting messages turned into flirting ones. And now my mom says she's in love with him and texts him constantly. Oh my gosh. My sister is uncomfortable because this man used to be her friend and she believes he has a history of manipulating women. She also thinks he may be using my mom as a way to move back to our country where his daughter lives. Oh, this just sounds crazy. When we try to raise concerns, my mom says they're both adults and can do what they want. My sister is upset about the situation and feels hurt, especially since our mom now wants to travel across the world for him, but previously refused to attend my sister's wedding in the same country because it was too expensive. Now this is causing constant arguments in our family. I see why. So your mom is 60. This man is 35, so half her age. She didn't go to your sister's wedding because of, okay, that's also, Mom, what's wrong with you? That's crazy. I get when you're going through a divorce, you want to feel young and hot. So I get if she was hooking up with a younger guy. Her going against her daughters and her now doing all these things that she wouldn't do when one of her children were getting married, That's insulting. And that would cut. Yes, they are adults. They can do whatever they want, but this affects you guys. She can be sleeping with some random 30-year-old. I don't think she needs to be sleeping with this particular one, but also she's your mom. How are you going to stop this from happening? I don't have a clue. I don't think you're the villain. I think this is crazy. And I think your mom is maybe having a little bit of a midlife crisis and her life is unraveling a little bit because of her divorce, because this is not rational behavior for a mother to do to her children. And like, how insulting. She previously refused to attend my sister's wedding in the same country because it was too expensive. But now she's going to go for some No, thank you, Mom. So this is a quick fire game that I'm going to play. And I'm going to read different points. And I'm going to tell you if I think they would turn me into the villain or not. Friend who shows up 30 minutes late to everything. Yeah, that pisses me off. But I will say it. I will be like, okay, you're 30 minutes late. These people that aren't using their words, it's crazy. Use your words because you got to teach people how to treat you. Dirty shoes in the house. Nasty. Gross. But I also, like, I know if I'm having a party at my house, I'm not one of those freaks making people take their shoes off. Like, I get it. Let me buck up and get some self-control. I know they're going to wear their shoes. If every day, like if you're just coming in my house, take your shoes off. That's gross. Or wear the booties that I've provided by the front door. Outside clothes in the bed. For what? You sleep there. That is sick. Sick. Gross. I could go on a tangent about that for hours. Guests who leave every cabinet and drawer open in the kitchen. But why? I don't understand why people do that. And you can see it. So it's not like, oh, I didn't realize I did that. Yes, you did. It's horrible. Someone using your bathroom and leaving makeup and products all over the counter. All of this is giving me like a lot of anxiety. Because yeah, that's rude. But with that, I normally, and I think because I have kids, like I'll just clean up behind you. I don't get as mad as I probably used to, but it's rude. I would just never go to someone's house and do that. People who throw things into the fridge wherever they fit, that does not happen. Nope. Like, you see my fridge, it's perfectly done. I know you know to put it back in like the little slot you took it from. There's just no way someone would play that game with me. And all the labels have to be forward and like you know better. I think you would be ashamed of yourself if you did something like that to me. People who say, we'll just pick a restaurant when we get there. People say that? When they get where?
In your pantry. Is anyone allowed to grab anything from a cookie jar?
No, everyone can grab. And so for my pantry, like Sunday, Saint came over with like 7 friends. And I love that they just come over. They ride their bikes, they come over, and I know they're over for the pantry. So I will coach myself internally and be like, it's fine. Like, I already know they're going to go in there. They're not crazy messy. They're just, 10-year-old boys. Like, I get it. So they're not as clean as I am, but they're touching all the food and like looking at things. And I let kids be kids. I know it's going to be a mess. I do my breathing techniques that I need to do to get through. And then when they leave, I'll go and fluff the pantry because I'm psychotic. But I let kids be kids. If you're an adult, I'm like, what the is wrong with you? You see the presentation, keep it up. But for a kid, I'm very zen about it outwardly, not inwardly. People chewing with their mouth open. No, my kids know not to do that. That's crazy. Someone not saying thank you. Huge pet peeve of mine. Tatum is 3, says thank you and please all the time, or I don't do what he wants. Like, that's how you teach someone. Like, I'm sorry, what'd you say? What's the magic word? I feel like we all know that stuff. So people that don't say please and thank you. Someone who's rude to wait staff. I find this so horrible when you're rude, condescending, like, when people I just can't. I hate when people mistreat anyone that's helping you. Like, it's crazy. Don't like that. And that's not a turn on and it doesn't make you look cool. It makes you look like a big ass loser. Someone cutting in line. It bothers me. But if someone cuts in line, I'm literally like, I see you, do you, why? But I don't get that upset about that. I'm more just, I make sure that they see me and I give them eye contact, but I'm like, I'm assuming some reason why you had to do that. But I think that's crazy and we're adults. Someone on their phone during a conversation. I hate when someone isn't present. I also really don't like when you're in a car with someone and they're on this phone call, loud, yapping, and you're in this tight space. If you tell someone, oh my gosh, like if I'm going to Palm Springs, let's say, and I'm like, I have this car ride, but I need to take this phone call. Like if you prep someone, if someone knows, I get it. If you're just talking to casually talk and I'm now all of a sudden your driver, I think that's so rude. No. Someone hovering too close in line. If you're a close talker, if you're a close stander, if you're a close any of that, that's weird. Personal space. I need personal space. Oh, this one gets me. People who leave dishes in the sink instead of the dishwasher. This happens all the time. The dishwasher is right there. Just put it there. I don't want dishes in the sink. That's horrible. Gross. When someone borrows something and never returns it, super annoying. But because my mom sometimes does that or used to do it, but now we take pictures. I'm like, what did you borrow? Because we live on the same property basically. And she'll just come to my closet and we're the best sharers. My mom's an incredible sharer. I'm a great sharer, but I have to literally be like, let me take a picture of this so I know to get it back later. Someone who leaves the microwave with the time still on it. So that personally bothers me. I try to be better with that. Like when there's 1 second left and you didn't clear it, I'm like, just clear it. But it doesn't like kill me. I try to be better with that.
When people talk during movies.
I don't like when people talk during movies, but I am like a movie commenter. I'll be like, who is this girl? Like I get so into it if I'm into it. What I cannot stand is because I go to a basketball game to watch basketball. I'm not there to sit in the seats and talk with you. And it's so loud. If any of you have ever been to a basketball game, the arena is so loud. You can't really talk anyway. So someone has to be so close to you to talk. I cannot stand when I'm at a basketball game and I'm with someone and they're just chit-chatting. No, let's watch the game. And one. Like I want to know what's happening. So I'm not into people that talk during sports games. I had so much fun. This was my first time playing this game and I hope you guys like it. I want to see all of your comments. I'm going to be reading them on YouTube. This was so much fun and I hope I get to do an episode like this again. You guys know what Wednesdays are for and they are for Wonderland. See you next Wednesday.